This is Pro Series Off Topic.
Well, welcome back to Pro Series Off Topic. I hope you enjoyed Pro Series last week. It was episode 219. If you missed it, with Lado AI. They are a AI-based company that builds softwares for medium to smaller end companies, really creating softwares to make their lives easier. The episode was recorded with the co-founders, Dan and Mike. They talk about AI, and if you're scared of AI, this is probably a great episode. Dan had some great advice on if you are scared of AI. We talk about different professions where technology has really taken a hold of the profession and really elevated it. And that's what AI is. It's a tool that's strictly there to elevate and give more growth to your business. So we're talking about all that, and we really talk about how AI isn't anything new, but it's new to the consumer, and it's been around forever. Like companies like them, like Microsoft, that have been able to build these huge CRM systems and AI systems for massive companies with massive budgets, but it was never been around for smaller companies or middle-sized companies to use a custom AI software to make their business better. And that's what they're doing. That's what they specialize in. So we're talking a lot about that and the hurdles where people are not embracing the AI in their companies, and then the ones that they do break through and they are using AI and how much growth they get from that. But absolutely insane episode. So if you like AI or you're scared of AI and you want to know more about AI, great episodes. Episode 219 with Lado AI. We'll have another Pro Series out at the end of the week, like always, so stay tuned. I want to start with my first topic of the week. This is something that would happen to me. Everything weird always happens to me, and last week was no different. Every single day towards after I work out, I always have a protein shake, and it's a clear protein. If you don't know what that is, it's basically not like the vanilla chocolate protein. It's not like the milk based protein. Again, I'm not a dietitian or whatever you want to call it. I don't know the huge difference, but for some reason it helps me because it feels better on the gut. But it's like more like lemonades and cherry limeades, like the fruitier stuff, I guess, and lighter stuff on your stomach. So it doesn't disintegrate well in water, especially cold water. So I have to put it in hot water. So I always put a mug in the microwave and put it in for a couple minutes and then put it in the protein shaker and then put the protein in and shake it up. Never had an issue. I've been doing it for probably the past year and a half. Thursday night I do it, and for some odd reason I really thought to do it over the sink, and it's never done anything to me, so I don't know why I thought to do it over the sink. Not even a second later, I shake it and it blows up in my hand like I was holding a bomb in war. It was the scariest thing in the world. The lid flew off, protein powder and hot water everywhere. I was burnt all over my hand. I still am burnt right here on my wrist and my thumb. My arm was burning because not 3-degree burns, but whatever the burn is, it recovers fast. My skin is definitely, you could tell it was burnt at some point, but holy crap. Who would have thought a protein shaker would blow up in your face like that? Right before bedtime, it really got me up and going, and only the weirdest things happen to me. I don't know why. It's like I embrace the weirdness. Like I want all this weird stuff to happen to me. Next up, I fell into the trap of watching the new show All Is Fair with Kim Kardashian and all the famous actresses, and the critics have declared it being like a horrible show, horribly written, the acting. So I wanted to give it a try just to see if they were telling the truth. Got 43 seconds in, couldn't do it. It was horrific. I'm sorry. I don't think I could be forced to watch that show. I wanted to like it because I wanted to show the critics wrong, but it was not good. Anybody out there that actually liked it, please let me know. I don't know why. It was so bad. And then I want to get into new music that's coming out next year. and some ties with pop music and country music. And I first want to come out with, there's two singers, one a pop singer, one a country singer, that announced a new album last week. And those both named Meghan Trainor and Megan Moroney. Obviously, Meghan Trainor, pop singer, Megan Moroney, country singer. And I noticed something similar in their last album, and then they announced their new album last week, and I'm like, something's going on here. And it probably is just a coincidence, but I don't know how in 2024, Meghan Trainor came out with an album called Timeless. The album cover is all blue. The whole era was all blue. The whole chapter was all blue. Megan Moroney came out with one not even a month later called Am I Okay? All blue. That chapter was all blue. Fast forward to last week, November of 2025, Meghan Trainor announces her album all pink. Tour posters, all pink. Album covers, all pink. Megan Moroney comes out, announces her next album that's due out next year, all pink. What's going on? Probably a coincidence. I'm probably thinking way too much into it, but I think now that artists are being a little bit more creative with their marketing and stuff, there might be something going on here. Maybe there isn't anything, and maybe hopefully they see this and they work together. Who knows? I always thought, and I actually did a post on Meghan Trainor a couple weeks ago, and she wrote two massive country songs, and I always felt like she would fit in with country music. I know her music's overly poppy, but if she could write those two country songs, she could easily fit in. I think she bends her artistry to what she's feeling for that project, and I think she could easily fit in. So Meghan Trainor, if you're listening to this, make a country album. Lastly, I want to start a petition to bring Kellie Pickler back. I know she's had a rough couple years, and it sucks that stuff like this happens to some of the best people. I've never met her, but she just seems like one of the most genuine artists and celebrities out there. But we forget of how massive of an artist she was back in the early 2010s, or actually late 2000s, after she was on Idol. And she really has a lot of number one songs in country music, has multiple albums. She was one of the bigger female country artists at that time, and she just stopped. And it's sad because she's still so good. She came out on the Grand Ole Opry this past year, back in the spring, and she still sounded amazing. I hope she comes back. She's just one of those celebrities that I don't know a single person that hates or dislikes. She just a genuine person all the way around, and I hope she comes back and has some type of country album. But other than that, let's get into the new music of the week. First up, Carrie Underwood came out with the 20th anniversary of her album Some Hearts. It started it all back in 2005, right after American Idol. Nothing hugely new on the album. There's 4, new live covers of her singing at the Blackbird back in 2005 when this album was coming out, of some of the big hits off the album, but nothing really massive or crazy. I'm hoping she announces new music coming soon, because I think this might be one of her biggest gaps between projects ever. So hopefully it's a huge back. Selfishly, I hope it's like something very traditional, but we'll see. Ashley Cook came out with a new album called Ace, and in my opinion, it's probably one of her best projects yet. Altogether, some of the big songs for me, it's Baby Blue, The Hell You Are, Swear Words, and Excuses. I think just all around, this is her best album to date, and I think she's going to have a big year. Next up, top song of the week, Dream Come True by Carly Pearce. Carly Pearce does such a good job with her songwriting and singing put together. And I don't know how to really say this, but she kind of reminds me of Dolly Parton in the way that she is really good at storytelling through singing without sounding like someone talking. And I don't know if that sounded like a compliment, but it's such a huge compliment, meaning like people could actually really feel what she's singing, and she does it so well. And this one kind of meaning like, did she do this, live this dream, do all this stuff for what? Like, what else does she have? She doesn't have a family. She doesn't have kids. Like, is she sacrificing too much, or is she too selfish? And that's kind of what the song's about. So it's a great song. Next up, Zach John King, Happy For You. Great song, slower song from him, but I do like it. I think he's going to have a massive 2026. After Midnight with Nate Smith and Tyler Hubbard. Not a fan of this song. A fan of both of them singly in their music, and I was excited to hear this song. But for some reason, it's just not good. Maybe it's a slow burn and I'll like it, but we'll check back and see if that is the case. But next up, Kelsey Ballerini came out with her EP, Mount Pleasant. We listened to I Sit in Parks last week, which is a great song. But really, the only two songs off this EP that I'm really a fan of is that and Emerald City. I think I really do love how she's coming out with these EPs between albums. I think it really gives her fans a lot more music to listen to, but it's also kind of a cool side project as she's building up for a big album. But overall, I'm not feeling this one like I did with Rolling Up the Welcome Mat. That was just a massive hit. Getting into the country Christmas songs, first up, Chris Young, Christmas Ain't Christmas. Great song. He does Christmas really well. Again, I don't like really crunchy, really twangy country music that is Christmas. But he does it so well. He is one of the only country artists that I will listen to in the country format for Christmas. So go check that out. This next one is twangy, but it's fun. It's Winter Wonderland by Luke Bryan and Ella Langley. You could just tell they had so much fun during this. I was super excited about that. But that's about it. I want to get into my CMA Award nomination predictions. CMAs are this week. I will have all of the whole episode next week will probably be dedicated to it. I'm still going to watch it, even though I hate these award shows anymore, and give my 2 cents on it. But gave my predictions, and it's so funny how when you say your predictions, and on the post it said my predictions, that people post about my opinion's wrong. And that's what's wrong with the world, when someone is telling you your opinion is wrong. Why can't you just... I understand if you comment, say, I'm rooting for this person or whatever, fine. But when you say someone else's opinion's wrong, like, that is the issue that we're having in this country. Everybody thinks they're right. Everybody thinks they're on the right side of history. Everybody thinks their opinion is the opinion to have. And that's the issue. And that's what's dividing us. And that's what gets people. I don't know why people get so upset by the stupidest things. Let people have their own opinions. Let people like what they like. It's not that big of a deal. It's not hurting you. And I love putting this country stuff out, and I love this controversial stuff because it gets people talking, and that's the whole point, getting conversation going. And also, my engagement has gone up because I feel like I'm gaining so much more engagement through country music because I think it's just becoming a more relatable topic for me to talk about on social media. Let's get into it. First up, Entertainer of the Year. It's Luke Combs, Cody Johnson, Chris Stapleton, Morgan Wallen, Lainey Wilson. My prediction would be Morgan Wallen. He's the only one that super, super deserves it on this list. There's no other artist that works harder than him in music besides Taylor Swift. Obviously, she's not in the equation. But Morgan Wallen, hands down, has brought the most entertainment factor to country music, album sales, the most singles in a year. He's just breaking records left and right. So I pick him. I think the association's going to pick Lainey Wilson or Chris Stapleton. They always do. It seems like these award shows are just Lainey or Chris winning everything, even when they don't have an album out or a single out. Again, I'm a huge fan of both Lainey and Chris Stapleton, but it gets old when you're kind of getting something shoved down your throat a lot. Lainey is in album cycle and is touring. I just don't think an arena tour is going to beat a stadium tour selling out tickets like crazy like Morgan Wallen is doing. And it's odd that Chris Stapleton would even be in this category because he hasn't had a number one since early 2024 and doesn't have a single out on the radio that's his until this past summer when him and Miranda Lambert came out with a song to sing. So it just doesn't feel right for him to be in this category. I just feel like it was very forced. So my pick, Morgan Wallen. Female Vocalist of the Year, Kelsey Ballerini, Miranda Lambert, Ella Langley, Megan Moroney, Lainey Wilson. I think, in my opinion, there's not a female country artist that has had a bigger year than Megan Moroney. Second, maybe Ella Langley, and then Lainey Wilson. Megan Moroney just brought such a huge audience to country music. Her tour was massive, even though it wasn't in arenas yet. It's in more of the amphitheater type of feel or the smaller amphitheater feel. But she had a massive hit with Am I Okay? But I just think she deserves it. But I think the association will give it to Lainey Wilson. She's hosting the awards too, so usually happens that way, except for Carrie. Carrie never won anything. They, for some reason, hated her. I don't know why. Male Vocalist of the Year, Luke Combs, Cody Johnson, Chris Stapleton, Zach Top, and Morgan Wallen. Hands down, Morgan Wallen. Maybe Cody Johnson, second place for me, but I think Morgan Wallen, again, broke every record there is in country music, and it just had a massive year. I would have liked to not seen Chris Stapleton on this list just because he is in between album cycle. I would have loved to see Parker McCollum, Kane Brown. Kane Brown is like the most snubbed country artist of all time, or Tucker Wetmore or Thomas Rhett, and because they had massive years as well. But I'm picking Morgan Wallen, but I think they're going to pick Chris Stapleton. Album of the Year, Am I Okay? Megan Moroney, Cold Beer and Country Music, Zach Top, F1 Trillion, Post Malone, I'm the Problem, Morgan Wallen, Whirlwind, Lainey Wilson. I think the most successful album on here is I'm the Problem by Morgan Wallen, but I think my pick would be F1 Trillion. I just don't, that's not my favorite Morgan album, and I don't think as a whole it was the best. I think F1 Trillion really dove into all portions of country music from really traditional to today's country music. Post Malone did such an amazing job with this album and really did a great job of embracing country music and coming to Nashville and working with Nashville, and really did going from a completely different genre to country music so well. So I think he deserves it, but I think it's going to go to Lainey Wilson, Whirlwind, for reasons I've already explained. Vocal Group of the Year. I'm not happy with this list at all, but I think the best one off of this list, well, Lady A, Little Big Town, Old Dominion, Rascal Flatts, Red Stray Clays. I think it's going to be, I want it to be Red Clay Strays, but I'm really surprised on why like Parmalee's not on this album. They are probably one of the only vocal groups that have had a number one in the past couple of years. They're another band that just gets snubbed all the time, but I think the association will probably give it to Old Dominion. Vocal Duo of the Year, Brooks and Dunn, Warren Treaty, Maddie and Tay, Dan and Shay, Brooks Brothers Osborne. They're probably going to give it to Brooks and Dunn or Brothers Osborne, but I want them to give it to Warren Treaty. Warren Treaty is so underrated. Their voices are amazing. Their music's amazing. I think they deserve it. I think they deserve a lot more than what they get in country music. So I'm picking them as my winner. And then vocal or best new artist, Ella Langley, Shabuzi, Zach Top, Tucker Wetmore, Stephen Wilson Jr. I think this is the hardest category in all of these categories for the CMAs this year. I'm picking Ella Langley just because I feel like she stood out a little bit more this year than anybody else. But really, if it went to Shabuzi or Tucker Wetmore or Zach Top or Stephen Wilson Jr., hey, they had an amazing year too. So I really wouldn't be mad. I think the association will give it to Ella or Zach Top, but I'm picking Ella. For single of the year, 4x4 by You, Lainey Wilson, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma, Luke Combs, Am I Okay, Megan Moroney, You Look Like You Love Me, Riley Green and Ella Langley, and I Never Lie, Zach Top. I am picking You Look Like You Love Me because that was such a massive single of the year. And that's what I think of single of the year. It has to be what the song did. It's not about the songwriting or the music video or anything. It's about the single itself. But I think they probably will give it to Luke Combs for Ain't No Love in Oklahoma. And I think I'll be fine with that because that was still a massive song. Or they'll give it to Lainey Wilson by 4x4 by You. At that point in the show, I'll be like, I give up. Song of the year. This meaning how it was written, how it resonated with fans, all of that. 4x4 by You, Am I Okay, I Never Lie, You Look Like You Love Me, and Texas. I think it's going to be Am I Okay by Megan Moroney. I think that song was huge. I think it got her a whole new fan base just off of one song. And anytime that happens, I think it deserves an award. So that's what I pick for Song of the Year. Musical Event of the Year. Don't mind if I do. Riley Green and Ella Langley. I'm Gonna Love You, Cody Johnson and Carrie Underwood. You Had to Be There, Megan Moroney, Kenny Chesney. Pour Me a Drink, Post Malone and Blake Shelton, and Hard Fought Hallelujah by Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll. I'm picking You Had to Be There by Kenny Chesney and Megan Moroney. She wrote this song to perfectly describe No Shoes Nation. I don't know how to even explain it because it's coming from her point of view of her singing on stage. I've never sang on stage with Kenny Chesney, nor will I ever. But it made me feel like I was at a Kenny Chesney show, and that feeling, that amazing feeling of that show. And if you've never been to a Kenny show and you're not a fan, you're probably not going to get that feeling. But I've never felt a song like that. And I think that deserves Musical Event of the Year. But I think the association will probably give it to Ella and Riley, or even Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll, which I wouldn't mind. Musical Video of the Year. Am I Okay? I'm Gonna Love You. Somewhere Over Laredo, You Look Like You Love Me, and Think I'm in Love with You. I'm picking I'm Gonna Love You. Yeah, I'm Gonna Love You by Cody Johnson and Carrie Underwood. Music video is amazing, even though it was a green screen. Just an absolutely beautiful music video. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Carrie fan. Honestly, that's not my favorite song or favorite duet that she's ever done or Cody Johnson's ever done, but I just think that music video is so good. I think the association will probably give it to Lainey or Chris Stapleton, even though I just saw the Somewhere Over Laredo music video a couple of days ago, and it is strange. And Chris Stapleton's song, I wish he came out with a version with like an actual studio version and not the live ACM or ACM version with Dua Lipa, but he didn't. And the biggest snubs of the year, in my opinion, Kane Brown, huge. Like how is he snubbed every single year at these award shows? Backseat Driver, in my opinion, was the song of the year and beautifully written. A song that's so different from anything on country radio and deserved so much more. It did get number one, but I think it deserved so much more than what it got. And Kane deserves so much more than what he gets. And I don't know why he gets snubbed every award show. It makes absolutely no sense. Parmalee as well. They're a group that is one of the only active country music vocal groups, and they never get nominated. So weird. Russell Dickerson's song Happened to Me was the closest song to Song of the Year for us. And I don't say that just for country music. I say that for like really all genre. Like he was huge on TikTok with that song. And him to not even be nominated for male vocalist or anything in this song just blows my mind. And lastly, Drew Baldridge with Tough People. Like how wasn't that nominated for Song of the Year either? That song is beautifully written about I don't understand where these associate. I feel like it's more of a popularity contest. And that's what happened when I posted this. I said, I'm going through stats. I'm going through more than just my opinion, what I think, but the impact it has on social, on literally everything. And he blew it out of the water. So I don't understand what the association does nomination wise. It doesn't make sense. And I'm not going to try to understand it because it's just going to go down. You're just going to get mad and mad and mad. So that's all I have. Again, I'm probably going to be even more mad on the next episode. So stay tuned to that if you want to see Eric mad about the CMA Award performances, all that stuff. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to try to record it this weekend and release it a little bit earlier than I usually do. I usually do these midweek. I'll try to get this out this weekend or maybe Monday. I don't know. We'll see. But message me with your opinions on the show. I love hearing your guys' opinions, especially this week. I had a lot of DMs on some of my picks and what they meant to them, which was really cool. So keep doing that. But other than that, I hope you enjoy this episode and hope you have a great rest of the week.